Hey, welcome. I'm John. What I'm going to show you in the next 15 days for 15 minutes a day is how to build a roadmap to build your business, your SaaS, so that you can scale what you're trying to do. How do we do this? What we have here is Figma. Figma is a great tool to convey ideas, concepts, flows, or even make mock-ups. Figma is a really cool tool, and I suggest that you create an account. Go ahead and go to figma.com, create your account, and we're going to start building our roadmap together. Over here, we've got the template for methodology for business transformation, and we've built this on Monday.com. Monday.com lets us leverage and scale our services without having to worry about complicated infrastructure if we need to hire a developer or any of those other complicated pieces. This lets us deliver services and manage our business in one spot and communicate clearly across our teams. So we're in phase one and activity zero. Step one, we don't have a deliverable right now. How this works is we're going to go through phases, steps, and we're going to update these dates to go with the rest of our work. And by the end of this video series, you will have a blueprint to launch, scale, and grow your business idea. Okay, so back to this Figma board, we need a roadmap. Otherwise, we won't be able to move forward. We need to be able to convey what we're doing, how we're doing it, our objectives, our plans, and what's in the way. So we're going to step out. And what do we have here? On the left side, we have our value. This is your business. Your business can either provide a product or a service, and that product or service is either a gain creator, meaning it makes somebody's life a little bit better, or it's a pain reliever. It solves for a problem that people experience, and these are the successful products. Now, think about this. If you had a toothache and you didn't have any pain reliever, right, you're probably going to go down to the store and you're going to buy something to relieve the pain. If you missed your vitamins, right, and you're going to go shopping on Thursday, but it's Tuesday, you're probably not going to run to the store to get vitamins because it's simply just not enough of a pain for you to make that choice to go and do that thing. So, understanding who your customers are, the product or service to create, and the pain it relieves is imperative for being successful in a business. And then we're going to talk about our customers. Your customer is going to hire you for a job. Now, we're going to come back to jobs at another time in the video series where we're going to break down specifically how this job works so we can make a really clear understanding of who's doing what. And they're either going to have an experience of gains or pains, right? How does your product or service create a gain for them? How does it create and how does it alleviate a pain? Maybe you've made a piece of software that takes photos or writes a prompt or something creative or solves for some problem that's just not met, right? That's the other half of your roadmap. You need these pieces of information to really understand what you're going to do next. And if you don't create these portions, right, you don't understand what your value statement is, and you don't understand your customer segment, you're going to have a difficult time delivering, launching, and scaling your business. So we're going to come down, and we have to understand a couple things. What is our product vision, right? How does the vision outline your customers? How are they going to benefit? And what will getting that job done look like after the solution is in place? That's your vision. Again, we're going to come back up here, your product or service, gain creator or pain reliever, and what is your time frames, right? Now, if we look at this board here, we have set some time frames, 15 days, 15 days, 5 days, 0 days. And we want to make sure that we're looking ahead, and this sort of lets us balance our levels of effort about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and where we need to place our energy. So let's come back to this dashboard. You can also create a series of videos that convey your value the same way that we're doing here. We're going to align our business objectives, right? We're going to literally create a roadmap that's dynamic, that grows, that scales with your business, but also retains the historical context that you've been looking for. And it's got to be aligned to your organization's strategy and objectives. We're going to do another video that digs into mission, vision, values, and objectives. And that's going to help us set some measurements and components that will help us understand our progress, right? And we're going to be able to do attendance. We're going to be able to survey. We're going to do data analysis. We're going to understand value, right? All of these things are going to come together as we blueprint our business. Again, on the left side, we've got our value. We provide a product or a service. It's either a pain reliever or a gain creator. The best products are going to do both. And your customer segment is going to hire you for a job. And that job is either going to be a gain creator for them or a pain reliever. And you're going to put these pieces together. Feel free to screenshot this, feel free to write it down. And if you'd like a copy of this, just let me know in the comments. So how do we put these things together, and how do we start understanding what it is that we're going to be doing in our business, right? And how do we satiate what our customers want? Again, right now we're still doing blueprinting, right? It's important to develop a blueprint because that's going to define how you what architecture you need, what engineering steps you need, and then actual deployment of your product, good, or services to your customer. So let's talk about jobs, and then we will understand a couple high-level business objectives that you need to think about if you're going to be a solopreneur, a creator, a digital nomad. You need to think about these concepts, right? So jobs, the product lifecycle, software development lifecycle follows these processes, and they tend to be linear and generally always start with acquisition and purchasing through receiving, installation, setup. So what does this look like? Let's say you deliver software as a service to customers that alleviate the burdens that they experience trying to create something on a computer system. That customer has to go through acquisition and purchasing. How do they receive it, install it, and set it up, right? Installing on their enterprise environment or installing on their personal environment. The software that they might need to have pre-installed, maybe you have made software for a Windows environment. Your users will have to learn to use it, how they interface with it, and then how do they store, move, maintain, repair, upgrade, replace, and dispose of your product, good, or service. Now we're going to dig into these later in future videos, and some high-level objectives that you need to consider as you are becoming a solopreneur, a digital nomad, is over here. You need some strategic objectives. Earlier in this video, we talked about setting some of those strategic objectives, right? Mission, vision, values. These are going to be where you have compliance. If you're building software as a service, if you're processing customer data, if you're doing any of those components, you're going to have to develop these things, and you're going to have to hire talent that will have to enforce compliance so that you meet state and international and all the regulatory guidance, right? This is an excellent time to understand where you'll hire out and develop relationships and partnerships with businesses that can help you with this. And then for the operational side, we need to understand how our organization has operational security and privacy. What controls has your organization taken and in place, and how do they do that? How do you teach new people about the controls you have, right? And what objectives they accommodate. They should, when you focus on operational security and privacy, you should get these 4 components in your business next: confidentiality, integrity, availability, and safety. So let's move into the tactical part, right? How do you integrate technology, people, process, and data? It's complicated and it takes a lot of work. Oftentimes you'll see things on the internet that people say, well, just go and build this and it'll be okay. But what if you don't have the technical skills to particularly use the software that they were using? That's what this course is for. That's what this video series is for. And it's going to be the first set of tools that are going to help you integrate technology, people, data, and process. Now, remember, we focused on mission, vision, values, and objectives, understanding some components of our business. And what we really need to understand in our business is the job performer who's in our company, what they do, what jobs they do, the process of how they do it, the needs, and the circumstances. This line of demarcation indicates that these circumstances can vary. Now, we're going to take a quick aside and we're going to talk about systems of systems analysis, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Right? Systems of systems analysis is just super important of when you're going to build anything, product, good, or service, right? It's going to come from an idea and averages. Think about a truck, think about a car, think about an ice cream cone. These things feed into your design model, right? You'll draw a sketch, but your design model is going to differentiate from a couple different components. Your design model will go through the design space, the architecturing, the engineering, the actual product that comes to existence, and then you're going to have an actual system. Now, if it's a truck, it might have 2 doors or 4 doors, or it might have 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, or maybe all-wheel drive. And that actual system is going to experience things that perhaps were not considered in ideas and averages, right? And that actual system is going to experience a couple different things. It's going to experience a variance. And those variances are based on change in time. Maybe that change is somebody lowered the truck, or maybe somebody put on different tires that weren't considered in the design space, right? So now the actual system can experience a variance that could potentially cause a defect, right, in how the product works. These things are also impacted by the operator model. Now, a few things. The operator model is impacted by operations, procedures, and training. So if you're creating a software as a service, how your business operates, the procedures you have, and the training you do is going to impact the operator model and the actual system. Again, these feed into change and time, while the actual system is also impacted by experience, improvements, and metrics. So your operators are dealing with reality and consequences. So this is just something that we need to think of. The systems analysis is going to be a thinking pattern that you will need to examine continuously through this course. And in 11 minutes, we've covered the first couple fundamentals of what we're going to do, right? We're going to come back. We're going to do some blueprinting. We're going to do blueprinting, and we're going to understand the parts of our roadmap. So if you're watching this, right, your homework is to write down your value statement. If it's a product or service, is it a gain creator or a pain reliever? And it can be both, but make sure you quantify and qualify how it does those things for your customer, and understand who in your customer process, what job they're going to be asking you to do for them, and are they going to perceive it as a gain or a pain, and how are we going to come down here and build that product vision, set our business objectives, and grow and scale our business. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments, and hope to see you tomorrow.